Hi guys, so I wanted to give you a little bit of information regarding your pelvic floor. So a lot of times if you're a patient with us or have been to us in the past, you know that we don't necessarily usually start with pelvic floor contractions, right? A lot of times our birthing patterns have created compensations that lead us to having really tight pelvic floors. But when you initiate or start being able to do pelvic floor contractions and have control of your pelvic floor, when you're to that point, then this exercise that I want to show you is going to be awesome to help you gain control of your bladder and just of your core in general. So I'm going to show you a little tip here. If you want to follow along with me, you're going to need a pillow for this exercise. We're going to bring your hips up on a pillow. The reason for this is it helps tip all the pelvic organs up into your body so your pelvic floor doesn't have to contract around the organs. So I have a pillow here. The pillow will be underneath my hips. And then I'm simply going to start by doing a pelvic floor contraction. And so when you do this, you can imagine that you are trying to move your pubic bone to your tailbone, closing in this direction. And then you can imagine bringing your two sit bones together and squeezing in that direction. And then you can work on coordinating that full contraction, holding it for 2 seconds and then letting it go. Holding it 2 seconds and letting it go. Then you can work your way up to longer holds, like 10-second holds. And so that is a great way to start to work your pelvic floor, and you're using gravity to assist that contraction. So you might be able to feel it more in this position. Then the other thing that you'll start to do is you'll start to engage your lower abdominals, and so you can coordinate first doing the pelvic floor contraction. So pubic bone to tailbone and sit bone to sit bone. And then you can add in, after that contraction has occurred, you can add in your lower abdominal contraction and do the whole thing. So you're doing pelvic floor and lower abdominal, transverse abdominal contraction. So I hope that was helpful. And these are just good isometric exercises. And again, the pillow is a really nice place to start. So you're using gravity to help with that pelvic floor contraction. And you're making sure that your pelvic organs are above the pelvic floor, because if this is the muscle and say your bladder is right here and you're trying to squeeze around the bladder, it's just a partial contraction, and that's not that helpful. So you want to be able to work through the full range of motion instead of having something in the middle that's kind of falling, so that will block the full contraction. So getting your hips up on a pillow is going to help pull them up into your body, and then the pelvic floor can do a full contraction without being blocked. If you have questions on that, or you don't know if you're ready for Kegels, just go ahead and respond in the thread, and we can have another conversation regarding whether you're ready or not for doing pelvic floor muscle contractions. All right, talk soon.